I got the bloodlust. Me too. I want to kill. Let's kill.
Hello, listeners, and welcome to The Bloodlust. This is your go-to podcast for classy broads talking horror since 2014. This is episode 272 of the program. Tonight we are talking about French film MadS. It is a oneer, a single-shot movie. My name is Amy. I am your fearless leader. Joined, as always, by my lovely and talented co-host, Jamie. Hello, friend.
Hello.
Welcome back from Las Vegas. Was it beautiful and sunny
Chicago
at least?
and Las Vegas.
Both.
No. I mean, it was
No.
sunny, but it was like 60. It was pretty, but it sounds like you guys had essentially the same weather here, so.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. It's just getting cooler now.
Yeah, yesterday was wonderful.
Yesterday was weirdly windy, but otherwise it was fine.
I loved all the wind, though. And then, like, an afternoon storm.
We looked out the
nice.
window this morning, and you know how it was super windy last night? Well, we saw a giant, probably like
Cow fly by.
3 foot by 3 foot piece of cement laying in our front yard.
Oh.
And we were like, what the fuck? Someone had to have carried that. There's no way that blew here in the wind. There's absolutely
that's
no
crazy.
way. So I get outside and I look at it, and it's a piece of styrofoam.
Oh, I was just going to say, is it like
exactly like a piece of cement
okay.
from inside?
That's hilarious.
So, mystery solved. Because all morning we were looking at it like, why would somebody just carry that
There
to
was
put it
just
in our front
one
yard?
gust that was crazy.
I guess. So that was the exciting thing that happened to me today.
Yeah, or some dude just carrying his slab of cement and being like, I can't do this
Right.
anymore.
I can't. I don't know why, but this is it.
Yep.
So, just in other news, real quick, I thought I'd share with you and our listeners that I went to my first puppet karaoke on Friday.
Sure, everyone remembers their first puppet karaoke.
It was very cute. There's this theater called the Matrix Theater in Detroit, and I guess they have puppeteers that do stuff there.
Ah, the art of
And
puppetry.
so they have, puppet karaoke once in a while, and we got to go, and they have a bunch of puppets you can use, and they have a little stage set up, and you go behind like a curtain, and you pop your little hand up or whatever, and they have a crutch you can prop your hand on because it gets really tiring.
Yeah, of course.
It was really cool. They had a bunch of fun puppets and stuff.
What a unique thing.
Yeah.
Well, that's fun.
And it was funny because a couple of people brought their own puppets from home,
Sure.
and these people had made a Luigi Mangione puppet
Oh, God.
and sang "Hit Me with Your Best Shot."
Well, I mean, why not, right?
It was a big hit.
I'm sure it was.
So that's what I've been up to.
That's great.
Also, in other news, I finished Nick Cutter's The Queen. I thought that was pretty good. I gave it 3 out of 5 stars.
Nice.
Very good beginning. Kind of lost steam, but not bad. Definitely a recommend. And it didn't take but, I don't know, a week or something.
Not but a week.
And now I'm reading Mickey 7.
Well, there you go.
I have not yet seen the movie, but I've heard really mixed reviews, so I don't really know what to think.
I
but
don't know
I'm
what to
flying
think
through
about
the book
anymore. Well, that's
It's
good.
a very easy read.
Is it good
and
so far?
It's very fun and interesting.
Okay.
Yeah. And very fast read. So I'll probably see the movie while it's still in theaters, I think.
Yeah.
And I'll let y'all know what I think of
A
it.
couple weeks more, maybe.
I hope so. Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
But this movie, like I said at the top of the episode, this movie is a oneer.
Is that what we call
And
that? I've
yeah.
never once heard that.
Oh, yeah. And evidently he really did. It's not like a Hitchcock rope situation where they've hidden the cuts. He shot 5 takes of this over 5 days, and everything in the movie is from
The 5th.
Yeah. Which is pretty crazy.
It is.
So our roundtable for this episode, in keeping with the theme, is what is your favorite movie or TV show with either a scene or a whole episode that's a oneer? All one take. Jameson.
Oh, you okay? Yeah, I'll go first. as per usual. Though my first thought when asked this question obviously goes to that scene in the first season of True Detective where they infiltrate and go into the Nazi house. Yeah, the drug bust house. It's just like one of the most intense and like anxiety-filled scenes, and it is, plus that whole season is so incredibly well acted and well done. But that scene is just, I don't know, chef's kiss perfection in my mind.
Yeah, it's a cherry on top of what is like a really great season of TV.
Yes, and it is just so effective because there are a number of things, obviously, a number of films or shows that include a scene or episode or the whole movie, whatever, that's one take, and sometimes it can feel gimmicky.
Yeah.
And it loses me, and it doesn't feel like it can have moments where it creates, or it sort of adds to the tension and helps build the tension and creates a more tense viewing. But then sometimes I feel like it takes away from that. Like they almost rely too much on the one take, and it maybe could have benefited from a little more editing or something.
Can you give an example of one that you think?
Yeah, this movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I didn't like it. I thought the one take was, I mean, I'll get more into it, but this movie to me was an example of that, the most recent example. And it's not like I felt like that the entire time, but I didn't feel like it was needed for the whole thing. I found it distracting, and I feel like instead of focusing so hard or so much on getting it all in one shot, one take, there could have been more time spent in other areas that I felt were lacking.
Interesting.
So I'd have liked to see that a little bit more. Unlike in my example, True Detective, where I feel like adding that scene with one take was very specific to that scene. Like that scene was going to be an intense scene. It was going to be an anxious, high anxiety scene. It was intense. We had a main character who was on drugs at that point, because he like does them at the biker bar with the other bikers, and then he goes through this drug house where it's just a lot of yelling. There's a lot of weapons, like people hiding behind doors. It's a very close quartered environment, so it feels very claustrophobic and you can't see what's coming around the corner sort of deal. So it just added so much to that entire scene. And I think that that's when it is most successful and beneficial to the overall movie or show, is when it's just sort of, I don't know, less gimmicky feeling and more like you're using it for a very specific purpose. And maybe that was the whole reasoning behind doing it in this movie. To me, it took away from other areas where personally I needed and wanted to have a little bit more. But another sort of fairly recent movie, and a horror movie, also French coincidentally, would be Climax.
Okay.
So that was not all done in one take for the whole film, but there were definitely scenes that were long continuous takes. And to me, how it was used, in my opinion, like how it was used in that film very much added to the like frenetic, like intensity of the characters and where the plot is going, and sort of like things falling apart, but also becoming like more chaotic and crazy as it goes on. I think the one take helped with that, because you were able to sort of move around and view all of the characters as all of this is happening. And plus there's like a great soundtrack and score in the background, and just the weird movements of the characters as they're, dancing and stuff. I think that helped add a lot of that sort of very specific energy to the movie as a whole.
Yeah, I think that a lot of times it's best used when it's used as a way to lend immediacy and making the viewer feel like they're in the situation with the people.
Yes.
So I think for that reason, I think it works well with this movie, and I think it works well in that scene in True Detective. I think it works not so well, maybe. I thought it felt more like a gimmick that didn't serve any purpose in, say, the Haunting of Hill House series, the episode where they have the wake. That, to me, just felt like a show-off kind of thing.
Yeah.
I didn't think there was a thematic reason for it to be a single take kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's best used as a way to convey the urgency and the sense of place of where you're at, to try and put you right with the character.
Yes, I agree.
I think maybe one of my favorites is Children of Men, the sequence towards the end of Children of Men,
Mm-hmm.
which is another great movie about kind of the fall of society. I think that one does a really good job. It wouldn't be good if it was used throughout the movie, but in that segment, I thought it was a cool way to convey the importance and the weight of the moment.
Yeah. Another one, which isn't a horror movie but has horrific moments, is the movie 1917, which is a World War I movie.
Oh, right. That's Sam Mendes,
Mm-hmm.
right?
And I'm a big fan of war movies. It's one of my favorite genres. And I remember really liking like the one take shots or usage in that movie, and thought it was very effective for illustrating and showing and conveying that sort of sense of urgency and panic and chaos sort of thing in war, and giving that sort of very specific like point of view.
Right,
experience.
that's another perfect scenario where it would work great.
Mm-hmm.
What about Rope? Have you ever seen it?
I have not.
I've seen it, and Rope is another one that, you know, it seems silly to ever dig on Hitchcock, but it seems just for gimmick's sake.
Yeah, he was worthy of being critiqued.
I suppose, but he's such
he
an
ain't
innovator.
perfect. Yeah.
No, certainly not. He treated his actresses like garbage.
Exactly. You can be an innovator, but also be a shitty person and make some bad decisions.
Yeah.
Another one that I saw mentioned, someone had mentioned it in a review of this movie we're covering tonight, was Victoria, which I hadn't heard of, but then I read a little synopsis of it, and that was done in all one take. And also,
I didn't
now
know
I'm
that was a one-er.
intrigued by the plot. Just
I just
German
know that
crime
movie
thriller.
from the. I only know that movie from the cover because I thought the cover looked good, so it's been on my watch list.
Yeah,
That's a 1 or 2, huh?
That's what it sounds like.
Okay. Very interesting. There's a whole movie called Russian Ark that's all one take.
Okay.
Very cool movie. It's very long.
Ugh.
It's not very exciting, but it's interesting for what it is. Not something you would like, Jamie.
That doesn't sound like it.
No.
Not so much.
I got that movie when I used to get Netflix discs back in the day.
God, I miss
And I kept it
those
for
days.
so long because I just did not want to sit down and watch it.
Yeah.
It was one of those homework movies, you know?
Mm-hmm. So many feel like that for me sometimes. And that's just because I'm a creature of habit. And unless it's something I'm rewatching, I feel some degree of anxiety going into a new movie.
I'm having a
Always.
hard time watching things because I have so many movies on my watch list and I go to sit to watch something and it takes me hours to choose. And so instead of doing that, I just read. So I haven't watched anything new since we saw The Monkey in theaters. And then last night I watched Being John Malkovich. That's the last thing I've watched,
Wow.
movie-wise.
Blaine and I watched Gladiator 2 last night because yesterday was the Ides of March. So I wanted to watch something Roman themed.
I see. Was it good?
It was entertaining. There were fun fight scenes and all that. The story was dog shit, and I'm a huge lover of the first one. It's one of my favorites. Oh, the cat just knocked something over. That's fun. So I didn't have high hopes for it, though. I knew there was no way
Well, that's good.
in the world it was going to be anything close. So I was just ready for some cheesy fun, and that it did give me.
Well, good. Mission accomplished.
Yeah.
All right, listeners, what are your favorite oneers or take scenes from movies or TV shows? Let us know. I'm sure there's some that we missed. I'm sure there's plenty we missed.
Oh, yes, I'm sure.
Sometimes I don't even notice. At first, when I was watching this, it took me, when I first watched it, I don't know, at least a third of the way through the movie, if not further, to be like, oh, there aren't any cuts in this.
Yeah, that was about for me too. I didn't notice it really in the beginning, but then partway once we got into the girl's point of view, or not her point of view, but her story, then it kind of hit me like, oh, I feel like this has all been one shot. And then looked it up and I was like, well, would you look at that?
Well, sweet fancy Moses.
Yeah.
Let's start talking about it, shall we?
Okay, that's why we're here.
All right. Give us the stats if you would.
Sure. This is rated TVMA, which is interesting because it's a movie.
Well,
I thought
it
that was
wasn't released in theaters here.
Oh,
so
I thought that was specifically for TV shows, but...
I think because the premiere technically was on Shudder.
Okay. Well, anyways, it's TVMA. So you have to be a mature adult in order to see this movie. Its runtime is 1 hour, 29 minutes, written and directed by David Moreau. It stars Lucille Guillaume. French is not my...
That one I know. That one's Guillaume.
I'm très mal. Laurie Pavey and Milton Ritchie. Or Rich. Or Riche. Or Riche. Qu'est-ce que c'est?
You're doing great.
Yeah, great. Premiered at Fantastic Fest, September 21st, 2024. Released on streaming in the US, October 18th, 2024. And on Rotten Tomatoes, it's 93% fresh with critics, 71% fresh with audiences.
So, thank you, Jamie.
Yes.
This movie is about a rich kid named Roman. I'm just going to call him Roman.
Sure. I don't think it's romaine, like the lettuce.
I don't think you say it like romaine, but I think you say it like Roman. And I'm not going to do that.
Roman.
So we're going to call him Roman because I'm an American pleb. And he goes to pick up some drugs on his birthday. And on his way back from his dealer's house, he drops a cigarette in his dad's fancy Mustang convertible and has to pull over. And when he pulls over, a woman appears who seems to have escaped from somewhere, who is bandaged up and frantic and nonverbal. And she crawls into his car and frantically tries to start it. And so he drives off. He was going to call the cops, but he realized, I just bought a bunch of drugs. So I'm going to drive her to the hospital. But on his way, she struggles and finds a weapon in his glove box and starts stabbing herself in the neck. So this kid is freaked out, doesn't know what to do, drives home in a daze, comes back out, she's disappeared, and then he gets dragged to a party. And what we find out through a little clever bit of information exposition is that she was being experimented on. She was a test subject. She has something very contagious and she has escaped and she has gotten her blood all over Roman. So now Roman becomes a super spreader and goes to a party with a bunch of people. So the movie follows Roman until it doesn't anymore and then follows his girlfriend whose name is Anais. And then after it stops following her, it follows her friend Julia. And their adventures after they contract and spread this disease. Very similar to your quarantines, your wrecks, your zombie movies, even.
Yes.
The Crazies, stuff like that. Basically, it's a zombie movie.
Yeah.
This director, David Moreau, made a really cool movie in 2006 called Ills, or Them in English, which was just kind of a home invasion in the style of The Strangers. I really liked it. You should check that out. He also made The Eye in 2008, starring Jessica Alba, which was not good. He did not write that one, though, to his credit. So check out Ills. Do not check out The Eye. Although I think it's a remake of possibly a Japanese movie.
The Eye is? Or?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that might be good. I don't know. So, Jamie, we already heard a little bit of your thoughts about this. Mm-hmm. What did you think about MadS?
I would say I liked it a fair amount. It's not my favorite genre of horror stuff, this sort of like contagion, only because, I don't know, it's just not. But every once in a while we'll see one that does it for me. And so I'll do what I said I was going to do at the beginning. I'm going to bring up The Bay, because I compare almost any that I see now to The Bay. Because to me, that was the most fun. That one was done so well. Like, that's
found footage.
Yes, to me, that's like a great found footage. My version of like a perfect contagion type movie. That or Wreck, which we've mentioned multiple times. And Wreck is still one that legit scared me. And has that sort of like frantic, horror-filled feeling. This one, where while I liked it overall, and am impressed actually by the one take situation of it, because that's not an easy feat, and I think requires solid acting and solid directing in order to be pulled off even remotely well. And I think really it was pulled off well in this, because neither of us noticed it until later on, so it was seamlessly done.
Right.
Where I found that it felt gimmicky after a while, or like it pulled away, or was certain areas were lacking, where I felt that there were stretches, for me anyways, where the plot felt lacking, and I wanted a little bit more, or felt I needed a little bit more about the characters, because I didn't really care about anybody. And I also found myself confused in a lot of parts as to like, why is this happening? And it may be because I might have somehow missed a short little bit early on that sort of was this exposition explaining that the woman who escaped like had something, and now there was like risk of it spreading sort of deal. Because early on, it seemed to me that it was like something having to do specifically with the drugs, because that's how it seemed like it was jumping. Because at first we just see the guy doing the drugs, and then he almost immediately, like, well, not immediately, but he starts showing signs shortly after coming in contact with the girl. So it wasn't super clear that it was because of her or her biting him or whatever, that's what caused it. And then you see shortly before Anais, like we start getting her story, we see her doing drugs.
Yeah.
So then I was confused, like why Julia wasn't showing signs right away, and like how is that going to affect things if like, because then I thought, oh, there's going to be a cool plot point about the fact that like she's pregnant, and if she has this, like what does that mean now for, I think it just kind of, there was a lot going on or like a lot of, I don't know, the plot didn't feel super cohesive to me. And again, that might be because I missed something early on or was tired while I was watching it, but I felt like plot and character development could have been beefed up a little bit more. For me, there could have been more there, and I would have found it more enjoyable. But that being said, there were a lot of cool parts in this movie. Like I loved when Roman, as we're going to call him, went to the party on his birthday, and you just get like shots here and there of his eyes and how
glowing.
They start to glow like an animal's eyes at night.
That was a neat effect.
I thought it was a cool effect. I thought it didn't look cheap. Like it didn't look overly CGI or anything. It was just a very nice touch that wasn't there all the time, but when you caught it, it was unsettling. And I think one of the more unsettling parts where we notice that is when he's like in close quarters with Julia and they're kissing and stuff.
Yeah.
And she even says like, what's wrong with your eyes? And then you notice it and it's really creepy. Like, I think that was probably my favorite effect in this. I think also that the actress playing Anais, when we got to her story, I thought she was great.
Wasn't she good?
I'm over the freaking cracking sounds. I'm over jerky movements in anything.
Yeah, but
I'm so sick of seeing it.
This was better.
I was sick of seeing it in this. I didn't like it, but she specifically made it more interesting. She made it more interesting and like okay for me. I was very much less annoyed when it was her turn to show her story. It felt like
organically something she would.
Yes,
it felt like something was going on inside of her body.
I still think it was too much. I still think it was used too much, and it's just annoying to me. It's always going to be, but I liked it enough with her. I thought she did the best job of like sort of conveying like the craziness and like how quickly this takes over and the sort of inner battle where it's very clear that it's like her recognizing there's something going on, but she's fighting against something internally that's like becoming stronger and taking over. I thought that was both like very like kind of terrifying, but also sad. Where it's just like you see someone completely losing control, but being aware of it the whole time and not being able to like physically or emotionally, whatever, do anything about it. And I really, really loved the scene where she like leaves. It's like after she goes to the bar. And so she's just walking around with like bullet holes in her stomach, blood all over. And she's doing this little like hot girl walk, like down the sidewalk. And that was just very funny to me because it was sort of like a blend of her as a healthy human and then this like illness just sort of making her crazy and taking over, but it was like a fun little play on it. Or when she's like, can I borrow your bike? And he's like, no, get out of here. And she's like, okay. Just like pitches him over the
and then she yells back that this isn't me.
I know.
I'm
She's
sorry.
like, I'm sorry, it's not me. Like I thought those parts were all really good, and I liked her part of it.
I really enjoyed the scene where she's riding on the back of the scooter. And she's just like grabbing her Julia's eyes.
That part was,
and like,
it was kind of weird. Like,
it was funny, but terrifying at the same time. I like that.
Yeah.
I also really liked the scene before anything really starts happening when Roman is in the back of the truck and he's riding to the party with all the street lights because bright lights affect them.
Yeah.
So the street lights are like altering his hearing and stuff. I really liked how that was portrayed.
Yeah, I more felt like when we were with Roman and that was just the beginning part, I guess I kind of felt like that was a little slow for me. It felt a little boring. And one of my beefs with these types of movies, and I guess it shouldn't be a beef because illnesses or, viruses affect everybody differently, is the inconsistency with how quickly they manifest or start to show symptoms and show signs of it. And I feel like that's the case in a lot of movies where some folks like they'll get bitten and it's like within 30 seconds they're changed and infected, and then there'll be some people who are exposed and then we get like 20-30 minutes before they start truly like devolving. Because with him, even by the time he gets picked up by the masked folks, like he's not showing or exhibiting signs that he is nearly as far gone as like Anais does, like by the time we see her towards the end.
I don't think that it's too bad with that. I know what you mean though, because a lot of movies will use that gestation time to the movie's advantage,
right?
A lot.
And I don't necessarily think it was used to the movie's advantage in this. It just always is noticeable to me when there's like such a such a difference in how quickly someone like goes downhill. Because then you start seeing like how quickly it's spreading elsewhere through the town, and then all of a sudden everything shuts down. So then that's giving the impression that it's infecting people and they're losing their shit like so quickly. Where it's like our first intro into it was, yes, the girl that goes into his car, but also it's him. We see him like become infected, and then what happens after that. And that series of events just doesn't seem to be nearly as drastic or happen as quickly as then it presumably does to all the other characters in the movie.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I feel like by the time he was changing, it had been a while since he had infected Anais and then everybody else at the party. So give it another, half hour or something. By the time the movie is an hour in, I think that would have given enough time for things to have gone haywire, because he already had attacked somebody while he was at the party.
Yeah. I don't know.
It felt
didn't
pretty
seem
plausible
the same
to me.
But whatever. We really only see like 2 people get infected. So, or 3 people.
Yeah.
Technically. But yeah, overall I liked it a fair amount. Like, it was a fun watch. I appreciated that it was short. I found some parts kind of confusing. It wasn't all an A+ for me, but I'd probably rate it a 3.
Okay.
And I would recommend it because it's totally in keeping with all those sort of like Contagion, virus, zombie type movies in the horror genre. So if you like
got that nice hopeless tone.
Yeah. So if you like those sorts of movies, then I can't see any reason why you wouldn't like this one.
I really do like those kind of movies.
Yeah. And by the end, like, it absolutely has the hopeless feeling to it.
I liked this lots more than you did. I really enjoyed it a lot. I thought it was really stylish. I thought the camera work was great. I didn't think it felt gimmicky. I thought that it really added to the intensity of the movie. And I feel like it kind of, to me, was sort of a spiritual successor to Wreck, that instead of using found footage, used the one-take conceit. Because found footage is something where you feel like you're watching something as it's happening, right? So I feel like instead of that, he decided to use this as his gimmick to put him in there. And I really liked that. And I think both movies are very intense. This movie had me sitting up, leaning uncomfortably forward for the whole second half of it the second time I watched it. So I think that's a good sign. I think the sound design is really good. The music choices work really well and contribute to it being really intense. I think that it's also nice to be able to do it in a single shot instead of found footage, because you don't have as much of the shaky cam, which I like. As much as I like found footage, I could do without that. And so I think this does as nice a job of making you feel like you're there without that. So you get to see things a little bit better.
Makes sense.
I liked the exposition being delivered the way that it was, her bringing the recording so that she could try and explain to him without communicating.
Right.
I thought that was clever. I didn't mind that there wasn't any backstory or much information at all. I really liked that we were just dropped in. I kind of like the idea that they've skipped another possible place to start with this, and maybe the more logical place to start, which would be back at whatever lab this originated in and seeing the girl and seeing her escape. That's a whole nother movie, right?
Sure.
So they instead took this girl who would have normally been the protagonist in her own movie and just threw her into this movie as the catalyst to start things off. And I thought that was kind of a cool idea. I thought that the party scene was really good, and I really liked the way that it was shot. I thought it had a really nice look. I think that this kind of story has been done to death, especially with zombies. And I feel like the director found a new angle to come to it from and a way to make it fresh again. And that's the only way you're going to make one of these movies good anymore. So the fact that he was able to find a new angle to come at this very familiar story from and kind of rejuvenate and re-energize this type of story, to me, was very impressive.
Are you saying that the new angle or whatever being the one take?
Yes.
See, and that's interesting because nothing about this really felt like new or fresh to me. Even with it being one take, it still felt very much like any of those same types of zombie movies that involve a virus.
To me, it gave it its own interesting feel, where
Fair
it
enough.
felt more immediate and I felt more involved, like I'm running around with the characters in the situation.
See, I feel it's more successful, or it works better for me in like that segment of VHS with the bike riders.
So you like the found footage,
But
to
that's
put you in
really
that
not
situation.
surprising because I'm a whore for found footage, and
So am I. I
and I
really
kind
like
of
it.
always will be. So I think that's just always naturally like a more effective way for me to feel like engrossed with and intertwined with the movie and like a part of it. And maybe that one, because it was also the fact that it's short and it's not stretched out to be a full movie. It's just a short segment. So that sort of adds to that pacing.
Mm-hmm.
Adds
This was nice
to
and
it.
short.
Oh, 100% for a
I didn't
movie.
find any of this draggy.
See, I did. There were definitely parts where I just felt like it was a little, I don't know, a little long, but that could have just been me and not being in the right mood to watch it or something. Who knows? But I do feel like found footage is a better vehicle for me, or a better way of getting that same sort of intensity or like feeling like you're a part of it.
Well, that's fair. I'm going to rate this a 4.5.
All right.
I liked it very much. I almost would rate this a 5.
Well.
I really enjoyed it a lot. I thought there was a lot of cool imagery in it. There's a scene where he puts a mask on at the party and looks at himself in the mirror. It's a really weird mask. I really like that.
That mask was unsettling.
Very unsettling.
Yes.
A lot of cool imagery in this. I think that I definitely recommend it. I think that it could possibly be something that non-horror fans would enjoy, just because of the one-shot aspect of it and you know, the technical aspect. I think that people who like kind of filmmaking and thinking about how things are made a little bit more would probably enjoy this too. It's not especially gory. There's a good amount of blood, but not like a lot of gore.
Yeah.
It's not as gory as like a zombie movie.
No, and it shows like a couple bodies post-attack that are kind of gory, but nothing.
You're not
nothing
going to
like
see
what you'd
someone
expect in
actively
some
get their
zombie.
intestines ripped out
Right.
or anything like that.
Right.
So I would say, even if you're not a big horror fan, you might really like this. I should also point out that it is French, so we didn't mention that, I
Oh,
guess.
yeah.
I mean, maybe with the people's names you picked
Could have
that up,
figured it.
but it's subtitled, so, you know, some people do not care for that, but it really is not going to be much of a hindrance to you in this
No.
movie. It's not dialogue heavy at all.
No, it's not.
But I found it really intense and creepy and exciting and interesting to look at. And I liked it. I think it's a good addition to that kind of contagion subgenre.
Yeah, I would definitely say it's a worthy addition or good addition to all of those movies.
You know, it's another one that I really like. Well, I really like The Crazies, which there's a George Romero one, which I haven't seen. And then there's a remake that stars Timothy Olyphant. And I thought that was quite good.
Okay.
I haven't seen it for a number of years now, but I thought that was pretty cool and sort of similar to this. Not as cinema verite style as this, but a fun movie that I think you would probably like.
Okay.
And I like that the end of this kind of gives you Pearl a little bit.
Yeah, a
the
little
way
bit.
that it just kind of ends on her laughing.
Losing it.
Losing it. Yeah.
Losing her dang mind. Yeah.
That's right. Anything with like an end of the world scenario, which is what
Oh, yeah.
is
happening
here.
I always kind of
enjoy
enjoy those. Seeing fires start up in the background as the lights of the city go out.
So I don't have too much more to say about this, but I think that we could discuss a little bit more in depth what happens. So why don't we take a little spoiler break? But I think we both recommend it.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. So what ultimately happens to everybody? Roman he goes back to his house because the woman is still there, obviously.
And the alarm for the house goes off. So
and the alarm goes off, so his dad calls him. And all this shit happens to this poor kid on his birthday.
I know, it's really
really
hell of
sucks.
a birthday.
Yeah. So he runs back to the house.
Don't do
and
drugs, kids.
Don't do drugs. And he finds... And imagine all of this shit happening to you right after you just did some drugs.
Okay, yeah. Really poor timing.
God. So when he goes back to the house, he finds the woman there, and she has cut this transmitter out of her, but it's too late. And the suits come, the people in their hazmat suits come, and they shoot her. And then they end up grabbing him and throwing him in a van and shooting him. And the van drives by Anais, who he has left at the party, who was looking for him and pissed. And then we start following her as she succumbs, which is the best part of the movie, I think. Honestly, just her performance is the best part. But
Agreed.
I also I think my favorite part was her riding on the back of the moped. But she ends up, and also when she goes into the bar, which was very funny. Imagine you're just singing karaoke someday, and this woman riddled with bullet holes runs in.
Covered in blood, yeah.
They're coming, lock the doors, give me the keys. And then people just bust in and start killing everyone.
Yeah.
She jumps out a window, finds Julia, who is as yet not infected, but then, well, probably she was, right? From Roman.
I would assume so.
But I don't know.
Exactly, because she was the one where it seems like she didn't really show any signs until maybe towards the end, but that was like such a long period of time. If she wasn't infected from Roman,
blood.
She would, yeah, but they say that later on. They say like, did you ingest any blood? Because
right.
That's one of the ways it's transmitted.
So she was probably just getting it because she wouldn't have gotten any of his blood in her mouth.
Yeah, but what if there are other ways that it's transmitted?
Well, we don't know.
Right.
So Julia and Anais meet up. They go back to Julia's house. And, well, they try to go back to Julia's house, but Anais is being crazy on the back of the bike and trying to hurt her. So Julia leaves, and Anais chases her, ends up at the house, kills her mom while she's stuck in the elevator. And then one of the suits tries to save her, but is bitten by Anais and ends up killing herself, but giving her gun to Julia because she doesn't think Julia's infected somehow.
Yeah, that part didn't really make sense. They were shooting people without even
well, maybe
thinking
that
about
lady
it
didn't want to
first.
do that. And so she decided, maybe you're okay, go get help. I don't know. But it ends with Julia obviously succumbing to the illness and just laughing as you see the lights in town go out behind her and things start to explode. Which to me was a satisfying ending. And I liked the format, the way it broke up kind of into 3 parts. And yeah, I liked the structure. I liked everything about it. I really enjoyed this.
I was confused at first because when the masked person or whatever, after they unload all of the bullets into
she was still
Anais's
twitching.
face. Yes, that part was crazy. But like then she took her mask off, and I got confused because I was like, oh, she looks just like her.
She did look a lot like her.
Like, wait a minute, is that a clone? Is there something else going on? But so
I don't
that
think
took
so.
no. But they got someone who looked very much like the actress
weird
playing
amount.
Anais. Yeah, so that threw me off for a second, but yeah, the ending, I was fine with the ending. I liked that. I'm always fine with a bleak ending. That's just
That's
like,
right.
yeah, best of luck.
That's
It's
life.
all shit from here.
That's right.
It's all over.
He said the director said he did start writing something about Julia's child and some kind of
Julia's
sequel.
child. How French.
Some kind of sequel, but I doubt that this would be a big enough movie to garner a sequel.
No. If anything,
But I
I'd
really
be
liked it.
more keen on a prequel. To get what was going on at that lab. Why were they testing anything like this?
Right.
What
Right.
was the point? Why did she have so many bandages on her fingers? Why did they, like, lots of questions about her and the start of this whole thing.
That'd be good.
Also, I love that car.
That Mustang.
That was a sexy Mustang.
Why would you ever smoke a cigarette in a
You are,
convertible?
because you're on drugs.
In your dad's convertible.
Because you're just some dumb kid on drugs.
Wait till you get home.
I know.
For God's
but,
sakes.
Oh, the colors of that car, it was so
very pretty.
nice.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So, listeners, that's what we think about MadS. I tried to figure out why it's called MadS, what MadS means. I have no idea. As you can see from
It's just a mystery.
the post and stuff, it's capital M and then capital S. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's an acronym for something. It didn't say. I read some articles, interviews with the director. Nope. Nobody told me. If you know,
Yeah.
please let us know. You can contact us in a variety of ways. You can email us at thebloodlustpodcast@gmail.com. You can send us a message on Facebook. You can send us a message on Instagram. You can go to thebloodlust.net and send us a comment there or leave a comment on an episode.
Or a Telegram. People don't use those as much anymore.
Beep, beep, beep,
But
beep, 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 beep,
I'm
beep,
interested
beep.
in receiving one.
We did get a message from a listener the other day recommending that we watch the movie Afflicted, which is another found footage.
I'm pretty sure I've
Disease movie.
seen that one.
I have too,
I'm almost
and I
positive,
really
and
liked
I really
it.
liked it.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's kind of a sexually transmitted
Yes.
disease movie.
Yep. I liked that one.
I did too. And would not mind seeing that again.
No.
It's been a number of years.
Nor would I.
So maybe we'll revisit that one. Probably not right after this one because it's kind of similar.
Yeah, I need a break in between this theme.
Yeah.
Movies of this theme.
But thank you for that suggestion. And you were quite right. We would and did enjoy it.
Yes.
And for our next movie, we are going to be reviewing Red Rooms. This movie is also, sorry if you don't have either of these things and you have had to rent them as Jamie has, but this one is also available on Shudder and AMC Plus. And it is a thriller, and it's kind of one of those movies where you don't exactly know what's going on at first, and you kind of have to figure it out as you go. It's about a lady who is, for reasons we're not sure about, very invested in this criminal trial that's going on, where this man was involved with the dark web and hurting people for money or distributing videos of people being hurt upon request for money. It's an interesting movie, and it brings up a lot of interesting conversation, I think. So I'm excited to review it, and I hope that you will watch it and meet us back here in 2 weeks so that we can discuss it. It sure made me think about my old days of watching a lot of gore videos on the internet.
Yeah. Weird that some of us went through those phases.
Yeah, I think a lot of us did. If you grew up with the internet, it's pretty hard not to.
Yeah, it was just kind of the taboo thing to do at the time, and
Sure. The modern equivalent of poking roadkill with a stick.
yeah, Yeah, I don't want to do that, so I guess I'll just watch a gore video.
Yeah. So, Red Rooms. I think it's going to be interesting. I'll be interested to hear your take on it, Jamie. And I hope you like it.
Sounds good.
And listeners, if you've seen Mickey 17, let me know what you thought of it. I'm interested. Don't tell me too much about how it's different from the book yet, because I'm still not done with the book. I'm like 75 pages through with the book, and it doesn't seem too long.
Okay.
And then I think for my next book, I read this book called Come Closer by Sarah Gran a couple years ago, and I really liked it. It was a possession story, and it was first person, and it was creepy, and I enjoyed it, even though those kind of stories usually follow a similar pattern, and this one kind of did, but I really liked the way that it unfolded. And so I found another book by her, and I think I might read that next.
Nice.
Although I don't even know if it's horror.
Well,
it's hard to say.
It still sounds like it might be good.
We'll see. I liked her enough. So let us know what you're reading, listening to, watching. I just finished season 1 of Severance and started season 2. Reading anything good, Jamie? Watching anything good?
I haven't had time. I haven't really wanted to get into anything new or good.
No?
It's a busy work time of year right now, but
Wonderful.
yeah,
Maybe next time.
maybe. I've been rewatching things, which is, other than Gladiator, that's the only new, and this were the only 2 new things. It's that phase of time where I'm stressed in my real life, so I just need comfort shit that I've watched before
I gotcha.
that I know I like.
Well, the Redford Theater, a theater in Detroit that we have access to, listeners, is showing Wild at Heart. David Lynch's Wild at Heart in July, and I'm really excited about that because I've never seen that on the big screen, and I would really like to. It's very hard to find, period, let alone being able to see it on a big screen. And they're showing it one day, and then the next day they're showing The Wizard of Oz, which is really cool.
They're also re-releasing for a short period of time Jaws this summer for its 50th anniversary.
50th anniversary, Jesus Christ.
So for my annual Jaws rewatching, I will most likely be going to see it in the theaters.
That's very exciting.
It is very
Have you ever
exciting.
seen it on a big screen?
I have. They
Have you?
they
Okay.
did some
What,
sort
30th?
of yeah, one of them. I'm sure it was some sort of anniversary showing. But
Well, I'm
I
sure
have
it's been
seen it.
plenty of years, and you'd be happy to see it again.
I would see it every year in the theater if that's what they did. So
Very cool.
it is perfection.
Yes, it is. Well, listeners, we'd like to thank you for listening. Jamie, thank you for joining me.
Yes.
This has been episode 272 of the program, where we reviewed MadS, directed by David Moreau. Thank you very much for listening. Until next time, I've been Amy.
I'm Jamie.
Thank you, good night, and hail Satan.
Good night.